Welcome to By the Numbers. My name is Michelle Fleming. I'm a math consultant and math teacher, but more importantly, I'm a mother and a grandmother. We've been talking about rote counting, and this is actually part 4 of 5. Part 1, we talked about counting by 1s and 2s. Part 2 was by 3s and 4s, and part 3 was by 5s. But today we're going to talk about the real secret in math, and that is being able to count by 10s. We live in a base 10 system, which means our number system is based around the unit of 10. So if we can learn how to count by 10, we are helping our child not only be able to rote count, but to understand our number system and to have number sense. Now, I'm not talking about just basic counting by 10s. We will start there, but I'm going to have you be thinking about how do we build their number sense as well. So let's start out very basic. Just counting by 10s. Okay? First thing I would think about is what do we know that comes in 10s? Well, we all have, most of us have 2 hands on our hands with 5 fingers on each hand. So when we count by 10s, we could be thinking about counting the number of fingers we have. And in the brain, actually when we do addition and subtraction, in our brain and we rote count, that part of our brain which is where our fingers move, the way we're able to move our fingers, that piece of the brain just lights up like light bulbs. So using our hands and using our bodies to count by is actually a very good tool that we all have naturally. So I'm going to also share a few tools. If you look here, we have 3 different tools that we're going to talk about. We have a hundreds chart, a T-table or input-output table, and a number line. This hundreds chart is set up in our base 10 system. So if I look down a column, I'll see I'm counting by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. But we're going to get to look at it a little differently, because if I start at the 5s and I count by 10, I have 15, 25, 35, 45. It also goes by 10, which is the foundation of our number system. So if we started out very simply, we'd have our kids hold out their fingers and count how many fingers they have. And we'd have them fill that in the hundreds chart, that it's 10. And then we'd go on and put your hands out as well and say how many fingers total now. And then we'd have 20. And we'd start seeing them get this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pattern going on. The thing you've got to remember though is kids can memorize real well, almost like sing-songy, like we memorize the ABCs, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So just because they can say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 doesn't necessarily mean they understand the concept of 10. So we're going to actually go off the 10 a little bit. So we're going to do an activity where we're going to build up. So we talked about the hundreds chart, okay? We could use that same concept on the 10s chart, and we could say one person has a total of 10 fingers, 2 people have a total of 20 fingers, and we could continue the T-table down. And this actually helps them with their algebraic concept, which is really pretty simple when we break it down this easily. Okay? The third tool is the number line, and being able to see how to jump by 10 on a number line. So one person is going to have 10 fingers and 2 people are going to have 20 fingers, and that count would continue on if our number line were longer. Okay? So let's talk about, though, how to connect it to their real world. Money is a great tool. It's a great motivator as well. So let's just throw out some money and we're going to do some counts. Because we're counting by 10s, we're going to need dimes. So I would start out very simple with your kids and have them count the number of dimes. So they would, not the number of dimes, but the total number of cents. So counting by 10s. So they'd go 10, 20, 30, 40. And I would just continue with adding dimes. And they may have to start over. They may go 50, 60, or they may start back over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Either way is appropriate, okay? But after they get comfortable with just counting by 10s, let's throw in at different money amounts. But let's stay only with dimes and pennies, okay? So now ask your child to count the money. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63. If they're able to, or you may need to help them, have them find that number on the hundreds chart. So I'm going to come back over here on the hundreds chart. I'm going to move the money over so we can still see it. Okay, so we still can see 63 cents. And let's find that number on the hundreds chart. So 63 cents is right here. Okay. Then I'd throw in just at this point another dime. What you're wanting to look for is, does your child go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73? Or does your child go, oh, I had 63 and you put in another dime, it would be 73. Two very different skills. If they don't count it as 73 cents, go ahead and let them count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, but then say, let's find that on the hundreds chart. Okay, 73 is located right beneath the 63 on the numbers chart. That's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily point this out to kids right away that, oh, you just go down one row to get the next 10. I'd let them discover that for themselves. So let's do a few others. What if I showed you the number 32? Let's find 32 on the hundreds chart. There's 32. Okay, let's throw in another dime. Again, you're looking to see, do they go to 42 or do they just go 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42? Okay, let's find 42 on the hundreds chart. And again, let them start seeing those patterns for themselves and start recognizing that 32 is right beneath 42 or right above 42. Okay? If you threw in 2 dimes, you'd move 2 rows down on the hundreds chart. But giving your child lots of opportunity to count dimes and pennies, throw in some extra dimes, and connecting it to that hundreds chart will be a great way to help your child be successful in not just counting money, but understanding our number system.